What's up, guys? Today we're going to be talking about 5 things that I want to see in the Moto E7 Plus. So if you guys saw my review, it was one of the phones that I was kind of hyped to be able to pick up, and then when I saw these specs, I was just kind of like, So the Moto E6 Plus is around 160 right now, and as we know, it's getting into the Bold and 1 and A20 territory, and that's very competitive. So one of the first things I want to see them go back to is the 5,000 milliamp battery. So in the E6 Plus, they actually went with a 3,000 milliamp battery, which made no sense at all for something that's supposed to be upgraded. They actually downgraded the battery size, which still just makes no sense at all. So it does have that 10-watt charging as well, which is pretty low, so that's not technically not fast charging. So a bigger battery definitely is going to be on my list for the E7. Next would be USB Type-C. So I know it sounds crazy, but they did not give this phone USB Type-C. It came out in, I think, late 2019. It wasn't early 2019 either. So it doesn't have USB Type-C. It's got micro USB, which is very weird for a newer phone. So I would love to see that come to the E6 Plus. So I don't really know what Motorola was thinking this year. Next is going to be NFC. So a lot of people were complaining that this did not have NFC, and I felt like it should have had it too, since they took so many things out, but they did not. And this is one of my favorite brands, so I'm not really trying to bash it, but you know, I have to be honest here. They did not add that, which was really hard to sell people on this phone when they kept asking should they get it. Number 4 would be the ultra wide camera. So they went with a 13 megapixel and a 2 megapixel depth sensor. Now the cameras on this phone already aren't that great, so I think an ultra wide would have been just better because the depth sensor, you're not really getting too much out of that. So I think for next year's model, definitely an ultra wide, if they can add 3 cameras, or if they just take the depth sensor out, I would love to see that as well. Now the next is going to be the RAM. So this model came with 32 gigs of storage and 2 gigs of RAM for the base model. So that was one of the toughest things with this phone, is that the 2 gigs of RAM, how long is that going to last you for, you know, a whole year without this phone really slowing down or lagging up? So it was really hard to recommend, especially when you're up in that $200 price point. You got phones like I said, the Bold and 1, the Samsung Galaxy A20. You just have a lot of phones that are really good. The Note 8 Pro for that $200 price point. So hopefully Motorola does better, you know, for 2020. So I'm still excited. I think they're gonna bounce back next year, but you know, hey, we never know. So got my fingers crossed. So what do you guys think? What do you guys want to see? Be sure to let me know, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.